Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Friday afternoon. It's Friday afternoon in Sydney, Australia. I have a few more days in Australia before heading off to the UK and then to Muscat in Oman, where I've only been once before, but going there again for meetings. Today I thought I just wanted to do a quick video. I always say it's a quick video and it ends up being 10 minutes. I don't plan for it to be over 10 minutes. When I just start talking, I have to edit it down, and I try to edit it to the shortest amount, and it's always over 10 minutes. Have you got your issue of Total 911 yet? If you haven't, go out and buy it. If you have it, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have it, I think we can make a video about it. I think we can talk about it today. It's something quite interesting. The new version of Total 911 is Total 911, and I'm looking at it on my iBooks here, Total 911 Rarest 997's. So it's got the 6 of the Rarest 997's. I'm sure you guys know which ones they are. I'm going to try to remember, and I'm probably not going to get this right. Sport Classic, GT2, Speedster, 997 GTS, GT3 RS 4.0. What's that? 5. What am I missing? Okay, you've got me. I bet you guys know what it is. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna look at the screen. I forgot the most important one. It's funny because I was just looking at I think Auto House have one here in Sydney. I was looking at a couple online, Turbo S, 997 Turbo S. I wasn't a big fan of the Turbo S, but I'm starting to like it. I saw one the other day and it looked pretty good. Yeah, so I'm gonna switch over to my screen and we'll have a look at this together. I think it's the best way to do it. I'll do a share screen thing, but Turbo S, Carrera GTS, obviously the Carrera GTS is not one of the most sought after, but I still think it really will become, you know, because the GTS name has been used on so many other models, maybe it's not the rarest at the moment, but I think it may be. The Speedster, Speedster's pretty expensive. GT3 RS 4.0, GT2 RS, and Sport Classic. Obviously Sport Classic, really expensive. GT2 RS, really expensive. GT3 RS 4.0, very expensive. Speedster, I think crazy prices as well. So probably the two most affordable ones at the moment are the Turbo S and the Carrera GTS. So let's start this now. In the comments, if you could afford one of the 6 rarest 997s. And I'm going by price here. I mean, if money wasn't any object, I'm sure we know which one we would pick. In fact, I really like the Sport Classic and the GT3 RS 4.0. But if price was an option, Turbo S or Carrera GTS. I think some of you guys will probably already know my choice. Even though, yes, I know it's flappy paddle, but I do like the Carrera GTS. Maybe it's better, sorry, I was just thinking, maybe it's better not if you can afford one of the 6 rarest 997s. Pick 2. Pick 2 of the best. I think it's too hard to pick one. If price was no object, which one? If you're on a budget, which one? Or just pick 2. Anyway, let's have a look at them now. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope this is working this time. I'm having a few problems with my screen recording app today. But anyway, I just want to go through these. This is in Total 911. I'm referencing this information. I guess it's a review of their article, or we're just talking about their article. So the first one they introduced is the Sport Classic. We all know we love the Sport Classic. It was introduced in January 2010. There were 250 of them made. The current value, Total 911 is a UK mag, so I'm not sure what the US value is. Maybe you guys know. I'm not sure what the value is in Australia either. But the current value in the UK apparently is £300,000 plus for the Sport Classic. I know a while back one came up at Dutton's here in Melbourne. I can't remember how much it was. All I know is it sold very quickly. It was probably, some of you guys might have seen it who live in Australia. I think it was about maybe 6 months before I bought my car, so maybe 18 months ago, 2 years ago. Total 911 believe that this is the rarest and most distinctive 997. I think they're pretty spot on. I mean, I like it. I like the brown interior. I like the seats. I like the stripe, the subtle stripe. I love the wheels. They were the wheels that I was considering buying new from Porsche for my 997. They worked out way too expensive, so I went for a pair of refurbished Lobsters, as you know. But I do like the Sport Classic wheel. All in all, I think the car is really, really good. So that's a Sport Classic. The next one is the Turbo S. The Turbo S was reduced in May 2010. Remember, Porsche brought out most of these end of line models for the 997, 997.2. Excuse me, in probably the last 2 years of the production, right? 2010, 2011. So, you know, there's a lot of, they brought out quite a lot of models for the finale of the 997. Are they going to do that for the 991? I'm not sure. But anyway, so the Turbo S, which I said I've been looking at a couple, there's a white one and a black one for sale here in Australia. I quite like it. I quite like it. I think it's got a nice stance to it. Released in May 2010, May 2010. Numbers made 2000. Current value in pounds, a lot less than the Sport Classic. So the current value in the UK is £100,000. I can tell you the ones here are around 260,000, 270,000 Australian dollars with low kilometres. Synopsis by Total 911, they call it Power and Luxury, the complete 911. So that's the Turbo S. That's the rare. So we have number 1 Sport Classic, number 2 Turbo S. These are in no order. So we're going through the 6 rarest 997s. Okay, I took a short break. I had to clean my glasses. I didn't realize they were that dirty. So if you watch the beginning of this, they're probably filthy. It'll probably show up on your screen. GT2 RS, August 2010, 500 made. Current value, UK value, £300,000. So same as the Sport Classic, around about. Synopsis, the ultimate road legal race car, according to Total 911. So that's the GT2 RS. The next one is a Speedster. The Speedster is a bit of a love-hate relationship, I think. I never really liked the Speedster. I don't like the seats. I don't like that stripe on the seats. I like the humps at the back. I like how it's low profile. I like most of the other exterior styling. I'm just not a big fan of those white seats and the checkerboard. 2010 again, October 2010, 356 made. So the Speedster is pretty rare, 356 made. Current value, £250,000, obviously £250,000 plus. Synopsis, a modern revival of a Porsche classic. I think that's a pretty true synopsis of the Speedster. So that's the Speedster. Then the next one, as you know, is my favorite, one of my favorites. There's one for sale here in Australia at the moment. I know it's PDK. I do like how you can get manual in the new ones, but it is PDK, as you know, in the 997.2 GTS. They have a white one for sale at the moment on car sales here in Australia, which is like Auto Trader in the UK. 190,000 Australian dollars. I know there's a lot more for sale in the UK. When I look at them in the UK, I think it'd be good to buy one in the UK and then bring it back to Australia. Maybe that's another option. Carrera GTS, 2010 again. Numbers made, Total 911 are saying unknown, and obviously there was quite a few of them made. Current value in pounds is £70,000, so £70,000 is quite a bit cheaper than here in Australia. £70,000 is probably about 130,000 Australian dollars. The one selling at the moment is 190,000 Australian dollars. There was a previous one about a year ago, which was about 18 months ago, which is about $180,000. So still more expensive to the still more expensive than the UK, obviously, and obviously the US. Synopsis by Total 911, parts bin special for the 997.2 sign-off. I guess that's true about the GTS. Some people say the GTS is just a version of the S with extra parts from the GT3, etc. I still like it. I think the 997.2 GTS is very collectible. I think it's undervalued at the moment, and I think it's the one to buy. For me, that's the one that I would buy. GT3 RS 4.0, which is obviously a lot of people want this car. It's a very popular model of the 997.2. I would say this and the GT2 RS are probably the two rare ones, and the Sport Classic, I guess. I guess they're the top three. GT3 RS 4.0 was released in 2011, April 2011. There were 600 of them made.
250,000 plus current value. I think that's a bit low. I think they're selling for a lot more than that. Synopsis by Total 911, the greatest manual RS ever made. Is that true? It probably is true. I don't know. Is that true? What do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. So that's the GT3 RS 4.0. And that's the 6. So the 6 are 1, the Sport Classic. 2, the GT2 RS. 3, the GT3 RS 4.0. 4, the Speedster. 5, the Turbo S, which I'm starting to really like, and 6, the GTS. Obviously, the collectible factor, Total 911, I think has got it pretty spot on. Collectible factor is Sport Classic, GT2 RS, GT3 RS 4.0, and the Speedster are 10 out of 10 on the collectability factor. I guess that's probably true. And the Turbo S and GTS they rate as 7. I don't know if those numbers mean anything, but I think that's probably about right. I think that's probably right. Sport Classics are getting harder and harder to find. I saw there was one for sale in Europe, and it was very expensive. So rare 997s. The 997, as you know, is my favorite. I have a 997 Carrera. For anyone that hasn't watched my channel before, mine's the base model with the lobster wheels in a custom color, with the Pfister Sports exhaust fitted done by Darren Pfister in the US, which I had sent to Australia and fitted here by Auto House Hamilton. The rare 997s, 6 are the best. Which is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Or which are the 2 favorites you have? Let me know in the comments. We might redo this video in another year's time and see what value they've gone up to. Anyway, thanks for watching today. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you'd like to turn on the notifications, you'll get a little email every time I upload a new video. Anyway, bye for now.